Happy Sunday, everybody. Wanted to jump on here and give you a quick message. It's easier for me to do it now, I'm finding, this way than it is for me to type everything out. I got my trusted partner here. That everybody knows that I want everybody to hug a beagle. So you'll know that, speaking from experience, I really do hug a beagle. Recently, I've been watching a TV show that I remember from the 70s that I did not like in the 70s. It was called MASH. And in the 70s, obviously, when you're a kid, you don't think about it. You really think it's a boring time. But you knew when that noise come on, or that song come on, the theme song, that it was time either for bed or it was time for MASH to come on. A lot of people did like that show in the 70s, and it was very popular. Recently, I've been watching a lot of that old nostalgia stuff. The older I get, I love Westerns and love old stuff. But in the episode of MASH, Lieutenant Colonel Blake was actually leaving the show, and so they were writing him out of the show. And he gets on a helicopter and he flies off, and he's supposed to be leaving to go back home. His tour at the War of Korea was over. Later on in the episode, closer to the end, radar comes back in to the operating room to break the news to everybody that his plane had been shot down over the Sea of Japan and that there were no survivors. He panned around the room, the operating room, with all those surgeons that were working, and you could see them looking at one another. They didn't have time to grieve. You just saw a quietness come over the still shot, and they just went right back to working. You see, my point here is, some people on Sunday mornings, after a long night of having a good time, forget what God has done for them the past week by, if nothing else, just giving them breath. And they've had such a long night on Saturday night that they forget to go to church Sunday morning. If you're in that position, you might want to start thinking about the problems that you might be facing, because they're going to be there waiting for you as soon as you get home. Problems are not going to go away. But just make sure when you're going to church, you're going for the right reasons. And you're going to get changed. Not going just to warm a pew, or you're wasting your time and you're wasting God's time. If you've had a long night on Saturday night, just remember, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, Sunday school normally starts either 10 or 11 o'clock at your church, or at least church does. And that's just as important. You can't have the sniffles. You can't have the feel bads of just not wanting to get up, or just being lazy, or just, I've had a long night, I'm just going to lay out of church today. Well, that's what the devil wants you to do. So think about that next Sunday morning or next Saturday night when you're having a late night and you know that you don't know what the next week is going to hold for you at work, at school, or whatever. Just think about that. Either way, as I always say, hug a beagle today. I love you. Happy Sunday.